Richard Skinner is back from Local12.com. So is the former Red player and coach Dave Collins. Guys, midweek, Reds had a nice 3-game winning streak going. Things were looking good. They were back above the 500 mark. Now they're 2 games below the 500 mark. So the poll question I pose to both of you tonight is, Dave Collins first, will the Reds get back to 500 or slightly above at any point the rest of the way?
I don't think they will. I think going into Kansas City is going to be a tough call for them. And the way they're playing right now, they're not playing well. Kansas City's got a really good ball club. I don't think they're going to get back to 500. I definitely don't think they're going to finish 500 for the year, but I don't think they're going to get there now.
What say you, Richard Skinner?
I don't think they do either, and I think a big part of it is, for whatever reason, when Johnny Cueto pitches, he's run into some bad luck, but he's a guy you can count on. Leake's start, the last start was an aberration. Mike's pitched very well. That was just one of those that every pitcher goes through in the course. We see Bronson Arroyo used to do that. You think he's terrible. It just happens to everybody. But now you can't count on DeSclafani. You certainly can't count on Marquis. You still don't know what you're going to get out of that other spot. Who's going to start? Is it going to be Iglesias? Is it going to be Lorenz? Is it going to be a mix of the two guys? When that's the case, you can't really string together winning streaks, long winning streaks. And what happens is on a day when Cueto loses 2-1 or he gets taken out in a 2-2 game, you may lose that game as well, and you're in big-time trouble stringing together wins.
Well, to get back to this 500 mark now, they'd better start winning now because 2 can become 4.
Absolutely.
4 can become 8 very fast, especially with a road trip against some good competition. Kansas City's very good.
Kansas City's very good. Now, the good part is you do have Cleveland, albeit on the road. Then you do have the Rockies, so you have 6 games after this Kansas City trip that gives you a chance to go maybe 4-2, 5-1. But if you don't, then come the Nationals, and then you're right. Then it starts to snowball a little bit, and that doesn't take into account any other bad factors that might happen.
Well, okay, you opened the door to that. Devin Mesoraco likely to DH during this interleague series or 2 series that they will play, 5 games on the road. But after that, Dave Collins, where are they going with Devin Mesoraco? Could it be that they're heading down the road of shutting him down?
I could see them shutting him down for the rest of the year, just because of the fact they've had him DHing against American League clubs. I think they looked at the schedule and thought we can do that with him if he doesn't show any progress. By the time we get done of this upcoming road trip, we'll go ahead and shut him down. And I look for him to be shut down for the rest of the year.
Do you feel the same way, Skinny, or is it possible they can salvage something from Devin for the rest of this season?
I know he's been shagging fly balls of late. I mean, I don't know if that's a sign or, as Dave will probably know, I mean, a lot of guys go shag fly ball. Pitchers go shag fly balls. For
Mariano Rivera used to do it.
Michael Lorenz probably is a great fly ball shagger. He's a former college outfielder. You know, if you can't find another position for him and all he can do is DH, you ain't having him DH very much because you're not playing on the road against American League teams very much the rest of the way this season. So you do, after that Cleveland series is done, you have got to either decide surgery, can he catch again, can he play another position? If the answer to the last 2 are he cannot catch again and he cannot play another position, then there's no point in having him on the roster.
No, because it's taking up a roster spot, and Brian Price clearly needs it. Let's talk about something positive. Jay Bruce, 3 hits on Sunday, 2 on Saturday, couple of home runs in both games. Even his warning track stuff has looked really good, and he's had a lot of warning track stuff the last few days. Could this be a sign, Dave, that Jay is kind of rounding back and look, maybe he won't be the all-star form Jay Bruce of old, but if he can get close, that's pretty good.
We'll have to wait and see. I know in the last 10 months of the baseball season, Jay Bruce has had 1 month where he's hit 240. And we're talking about a guy that is supposed to be the middle lineup guy that's supposed to do big-time damage for us.
In his prime.
That's exactly right. He shows signs of it 2 or 3 games, but he hasn't never been able to do it consistently, and that's what I look for out of Bruce. Can he consistently help you? And he hasn't done that.
Yeah, I wrote about that on Local12.com this week, and I crunched the numbers, and Dave actually alluded to it. It's literally the last 10 months. You know, the last 2 months of the 2013 season, he was terrible hitting the ball. He was not very good other than really a month last year, and then we all thought, well, maybe it was the knee surgery. This year's been a disaster. I hope the last 2 days are a sign, but I'm with Dave on this. I need to see 2 weeks of this, a month of this. I need to see more than just that. Because you say Rob Deere could do that in a day. Dave Kingman could do that in a day.
Sure.
Some guys can do that for a short period, a game or two. Can you do it for a week, 2 weeks, or a month? And it's just right now for him, I got to see it to believe it.
Okay, Dave Collins, the drawback to having Billy Hamilton in the 8th spot now and Zach Cozart leading off. Maybe Cozart will be a great leadoff hitter. We don't know. He's certainly hitting the ball well so far this season. But Billy 8, there's a problem with that as you see it.
Zach Cozart's done a great job, but he's not a leadoff hitter. You want somebody in that #1 spot that causes havoc for the other club. If Billy Hamilton's not going to lead off for you, then send him back to AAA. His value to the club is his speed. If you put him 8th, you got the pitcher coming up behind him. Just get the pitcher out and you're out of the inning. You can't run with the pitcher hitting because you can't take a chance of getting thrown out, and then you got the pitcher maybe leading off. So to me, him hitting 8th, if I'm a pitcher against the Reds and I see Hamilton hitting 8th, wow, that's great. I don't have to worry about this guy.
Well, and I mentioned this when we were talking about it, Richard. The opposing pitcher then, if Billy does get on base, doesn't have to worry about Billy.
Well,
if you want to steal your base, steal your base. So I'm just going to get the pitcher out and we'll be done.
I understand why Brian Price did it. I mean, obviously, and I'll give the...
You got to shake it up a little bit.
I'll give Fox Sports Ohio credit. They did a nice job today when they showed the lineup. They showed on-base percentage for guys, and they showed that he pretty much tried to stack higher on-base percentage guys to the top of the lineup, including Brian Pena, who you don't think of him being a number 2 hitter or a prototypical 2 hitter. His on-base percentage, as we sit here today, was actually pretty good going in. So I do understand that. But long-term, I think I'm with Dave on this one. If Billy Hamilton hits 8th, it's counterproductive. Then you do have to send him down. You do have to get him right, because either he is a leadoff hitter or a 2 hitter in this league, or he's not a player in this league other than a 4th or 5th outfielder. And I'm afraid that's where he's pretty much trending to be.
All right, so 5 interleague games coming up this week. 2 at Kansas City, the reigning American League champs. So they go from the world champs to the league champs. That's not easy. And then they go to Cleveland, which, regardless of how Cleveland is playing, that's not easy either. Then they'll be back home. So we'll talk about the road trip Sunday night with these two next week. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Mike.
you.